Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teachers New. Today I have with me Ingrid, and today we're going over another Elseworld. This case, Superman War of the Worlds. As I just told Ingrid off screen before we got started, that it turns out the year of Superman's first appearance was also the year of the infamous War of the World broadcast. Now, are you aware of that broadcast?
Yes, I'm certainly aware of that.
Now, you do know that it wasn't as much pandemonium as people made later claimed, right?
I mean,
It was those who
history
came in
tends to be
later.
exaggerated after the fact. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it got out of hand as the thing went on, because at the start it was made very clear right from the very beginning, this is an act, this is a production. It was those who came in afterwards where they didn't repeat that, where they're like, oh my god, what's going on, oh god. But even
Yeah,
then,
that makes
those
sense.
who had too much wild imaginations.
Yeah, stuff happens.
Yeah, but the fact that so many people act like, oh, it was this big moment, everyone panicked. No, they didn't. But yeah, we get the story of what if we take that, but what if Superman it happened the same time Superman came represented himself to the world. Written by Roy Thomas and art by Michael Clark. Roy Thomas has been a long legend in the comics industry.
Hmm.
But yeah, we open up Krypton's destruction, him coming down, Superman coming down to Earth, being found. This is going with the Golden Age. Everything here is going by the Golden Age stuff. So yeah, the Kents find him and they eventually adopt him. They were astounded by the infant's feats of strength, and in the days that followed, as the lads grew older, he learned to his delight that he could leap an eighth of a mile, run faster than a streamlined train, and that nothing less of a bursting shell could penetrate his skin. Okay, what does that mean, a bursting shell? Does that mean point
Hmm.
blank of a gun? Or a
I
bomb
don't know.
blast? But anyway, eventually, yeah, they love and guide the Ken was all an all important factor shaping the boy's future. But then they eventually passed away. And thus he made a silent vow, Mars, as he made a silent vow, Mars shone overhead, a bright dot of light creeping zenithward. It is odd that for countless centuries, Mars has been the star of war. All that time, the Martians must have been getting ready. In the year we call 1938 AD, came the Great Disillusionment. As Mars approached its nearest point to Earth, came the amazing news of a huge outbreak of incandescence upon its surface, like a discharge of a huge gun. Um, Spectrograph and spectroscopes indicated a ball of flaming gas, chiefly hydrogen, moving with enormous velocity towards this Earth. Hundreds of observers saw the flame that night, and the night after, and again the night after, and so for 10 nights, a flame each night. Why the shots ceased after the 10th, no one on Earth has attempted to explain. And thus we see him there. FDR denounces bombing. President speaks out against the barbarous bombing in Spanish Civil War and in a war between Japan and China. I think it says China.
Hmm.
Good morning, Daily Star. No, ma'am, I didn't know if little Abner's ever going to marry Daisy May. How much I bet people did call in with questions about the comics? Sir, could you tell me? Sorry, in a hurry. Pardon me, Miss I. What do you want? Well, actually, a job. You and the rest of the country. Haven't you heard of the Depression? I'd still like to speak with your editor. My name's Clark Kent. Don't tell me. You want to become an ace reporter, right? Well, I've had a little experience on the Sentinel. Hello, Mr. Tyler. There's a would-be news hawk named Clark Kent out here. Says he worked for the Sentinel, and, well, I'll be, you can go right in. I really appreciate your, don't thank me, you're just wasting your time. I ought to know. Maybe I've been, and maybe, but I've been knocking on newspaper doors all week, and this is the farthest I've got yet. Wish me luck. Sorry I'm late, Lois. Thanks for filling in on me while I went to the doctor. Hey, even answering the phone beats working in the sob sister column of mine. Which way is the editor office, son? Name's Jimmy. See that open door? It's your funeral. Chief's in a bad mood. A story to cover, and half my staff's out on assignment, and the other half down with the blasted flu. So some meteor hits last night. All right, near working. Night near working, Chief. So what? They buy newspapers in Woking, or haven't you heard? Excuse me, but I saw it come down. Who the devil? Oh yeah, Clark Kent from the Sentinel down the street, right? How come I never heard of you? Actually, oh, Ken Clark. Actually, the name's Clark Kent. I'm afraid I must not have made myself clear to the young lady outside. I didn't mean I was from the Metropolis Sentinel. I meant the Smallville Sentinel, our high school paper. I wrote a couple pieces on sports. Your high school? Shut it, White. At least he's here and he isn't sneezing. All right, Kent, you've got your shot. This meter thing can't amount to much, and I'll see if you can make a story out of it. I won't let you down, Mr. Tay. I don't believe this. I've been stuck churning out the Miss Lovely Love column for the past year, and the first thing that comes along in pants, you give a shot at being a real reporter. She's got a point, George. When I need hiring advice, from my city editor, I'll pour your chain. Tell you what, Lois, you and Ken can cover the meteor together. Assuming one of you can operate a camera. I can, sir. To get cracking. Great. Now a mob's trying to lynch a prisoner down in the county jail. Guess I'll have to cover that one. Come on, you. Okay, I'm liking this Lois.
Yeah.
This is a Lois who has not been a star reporter, but has been wanting her moment, and this is her moment.
Yeah.
The meteor hit. Been hauling folks there all day, Missy. It's about a mile fare and a buck. $1? That's awfully. Take it or leave it. There's lots more waiting to see that thing for the drag it and before they drag it to some museum. Just drive, cabby. We're in a hurry. Tell me, Ken, can you really use a camera? Well, we didn't have this fancy one back where I come from. Not much call for snapshots of cows, huh? But I think I figured it out on their way here. By the way, Miss Lane, I'm glad you got the assignment you wanted. Why, thanks. But if my being there helped in any way, I'm happy to have. Let's get this straight. You didn't help me. I helped me. I only meant, Mister, I just came in, but like Errol Flynn says, the only way to fight a woman is with your hat. Grab it and run. As close as I can get. You'll have to walk from here. The meteor must have come down at an angle. He said it's in a sand pit past this burned out area. So we should, good Lord, or as my dad used to say, great Scott. That sure doesn't look like any meteor I've ever saw, but I could see why it's drawn a crowd. It looks like some huge cylinder, but it's so thick. 30 yards across, ma'am, and they measured. Let's see what those workmen down there are up to. I mean, and they're trying to figure it all out. And oh, God's sakes, Ogilvy, do they have to tell the newspapers our business? Miss Lane, this is my colleague of mine, Dr. Lex Luthor. He was visiting me when it struck, so we're working together to uncover it. Are you saying this object may be hollow? It's clearly not natural. We believe it's connected with the recent explosions on Mars. We can hear faint stirrings inside. We think there are men trapped inside. Of course, I use the term men loosely. I estimate the chance of anything truly man-like on Mars at 1,000,000 to 1. Dr. Oakley, Dr. Luthor, it started at the top. It starts turning. Now, I should point out Professor Ogilvy. He's the man who actually had found Martian Manhunter. Which all makes sense, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And at the top, it's starting to look. It's unscrewing again. Get those workmen out of there before it falls on them. Oh! Look at that.
Oh boy.
1 second. All right. The top, over the brim into the pit. It's definitely alive. That cry. But why did it fall? If it is from Mars, the Earth's greater gravity would exert a terrific pull on it. Just as if we were on a smaller world like Mars, we could leap long distances. Officers, keep the crowd back. Kent, there can't be intelligent creatures on another planet, can there? I don't know. Well, what he said about gravity makes me wonder. Uh-oh. There's another one of those things working. Only this one isn't venturing out far enough to lose his balance. Hey, bunch of ugly brutes, let me out of here. Miss Lane, Lois, we should move back. You're here to take pictures, and I don't think the chief meant long shots. I love that, don't you? But those things might be dangerous. Are you kidding? They can barely move. Get away from there. I think that first one fell over here somewhere, but it's too dark in the pit. You're coming with me now. God, you're such a crybaby. How'd you even get a job with a high school paper? That's quite the grip you've got there. Never mind that. With the sun setting, you're liable to fall in. All right. I'll keep back for now. Hey, what's that rising out of the cylinder? Get a creature docked back inside. So it's probably some kind of periscope. But the other metal rod coming up, hello, the cylinder. What are Professor Ogley and those men doing? Whoever you are, we come in peace. Step forward your representative so we can talk. They want to parley with the men from Mars. Surely even you know what a white flag means. But to the Martians, I don't like the way the sound and that second gadget is. Jam! Heat ray! Run, Lois! Ogilvy, the others, they just went up in smoke. Oh, and when that beam touched them, each man was set on fire, and it's sweeping towards us. Nowhere to hide. Quick, get behind me! It shut off, but it hit us. I know it did. We should be dead now. Oh my God. Those Lonchons, are they fireproof? Is that what saved us? I'll say something, Kent. You are Kent, aren't you? You need to be afraid. I won't harm you. Oh, those poor people. They were burned alive. Don't look. It's pretty grisly. I'm a reporter. It's my job to look. That beam could flare up again any time. I'll get you safety, then Here comes the army at last. Now we'll show them what's going on here. We were heading here when we saw a flash. Geez, are those charred corpses down there? I'm from the Daily Star. There are some kind of monsters from Mars or someplace in that cylinder. They shot flames at people. If that's true, I'm lobbing a few shells into that pit before they fire at us. Just keep out of range. They can hardly move in Earth's gravity. Hey, Lois, we don't know that for certain. I don't buy this Martian talk, bud. That outfit, buddy. You was with a circus or some foreign army? Does it really matter right now? He's all right, Captain. He's my photographer. Sir, something's coming out of the pit. Holy crow! Look at that.
Damn, that's a shot.
Yes, and yes it is. What the hell? First I've seen of it. Obviously some kind of machine. If those murderers are mobile now, they're mobile, all right. And here come 4 more. Those monsters we saw must be inside them. See how the head swivels? Get back, sister. Okay, men. Ready, aim, fire. Just like throwing jelly beans at a tank. Captain, get your men out of here before those things turn their heat rays on you. Heat ray? What are you talking about? No time to explain. That one swinging his tentacle toward us. And what? How'd he jump that high? Is he one of us or one of them? Rawr! They shot him with some kind of flamethrower. It just hissed and it's like it set the air on fire around him. Wherever he is, he's down for the count. Watch out! Now they're turning our wow! Hit him with everything we've got! That hurt because I was so close. Growing up, I always wondered what pain was. Now I know. Still, it seems it'll take more than a fiery beam to give me a sunburn, even if I'm not quite sure why. But those poor devils. Our shells don't faze them. No, they're not getting by us. Move, soldier. You don't stand a prayer. Yow! Thanks, fella. You saved our hides. I wouldn't have saved anybody if you don't clear out. Fall back towards Metropolis. That's the right direction they seem to be heading. I'll try to fight a delaying attack in action. Cripes, he's lifting that field piece over his head, but it was all primed to fire. Toom! Nothing. Well, there's one more way, there's more than one way to wield a weapon. Wacham! The bigger they are, etc. Wahoo! Score one for our side. One for our side. Unbelievable. Who is this Clark Kent anyway? Casper Milquetoast, he ain't. Come out of there, you bloodthirsty. Knocked on your tail and still itching for a scrap, huh? Request granted. If you brutes are really from Mars, no wonder they named the planet after a war god. I'm just sorry I'm not strong enough to toss you all the way back there. But I'll sure give the old college try. Yes, Chief, you heard right. Their big tripods can move nearly as fast as a train when they want to. In fact, I can see the Metropolis Express passing them right now. I just hope they don't. Good Lord, no! They set the train on fire. All those people, the humanity. This teapot's burning too now. I don't know how much longer I can. Hello? Hello? Line's got dead. I wonder how much the chief heard. Well, Lois, you played and Nellie Blee and Blee girl reporter long enough. Time to see if I can find a car with the keys in it and clear out here before. May I give you a list, Miss Lane? Dr. Luther! I thought you must have been killed along with Professor Ogilvy. I told that old fool not to approach the cylinder with his stupid flag of truce. When he did, I headed back to my car just in time. Look, I've got to get back to the Star with this story. The paper will reimburse you, if it still exists, come morning. And get in. I wouldn't take you into downtown Metropolis right now for all the money in the world, but my laboratory's on the outskirts of the city, and I've got to salvage what I can of certain experiments. And I guess I've got no choice but to come along for the ride. At the speed those things travel, they'll reach the West River before we do anyway. Here they come. We couldn't stop them with the artillery. How are we going to do it with rifles and machine guns? If we could just slow them down a little. They're here. It's those new P-38s I heard where that base out on Oolong Island just got some. Hope they can find a soft spot we didn't. And go get them, Junior Birdman. Oh, Lordy! What do you think about all this?
Oh boy, lots of action.
No, and look, it's a bird, more like a plane. No, it's that guy in the acrobat outfit. Hey, whoever you are, but how can you fly like that? I'm not flying, but I'll admit I can jump pretty far. Wait, I can take you back to. Get away from me! You're not human! So Mom and Dad were right. Even when I'm fighting for their lives, people fear me, run from me because I'm different. Well, they better hope I'm really different, or their whole civilization is going to be gone with the wind. This is the story of a lifetime. Where's that soda pop Olsen? I don't want to leave the window. Right here, Chief, Mr. Taylor. The biggest story ever, and I'm reduced to trying to follow it by telescope. No word from Lane since that phone call got cut short. But I've got no idea what happened to that Kent guy. I tell you, Olsen, they just don't make reporters like they used to. Look, it looks like I've become the first line of defense. Up, and away! Snagged by like a fly by a frog's tongue. A huge metal frog. But what and how its flies can do this? And as long as I'm going to fall anyway, maybe I can take one of this barbershop quartet with me. Woohoo! One of them's down! That guy did it somehow. He's even jumping down after it. Now to see how many sardines there are in this tin can and what? Those other machines. They're firing canisters at the soldiers. Canisters that smash open when they hit, discouraging some kind of thick, inky vapor. It's spreading over the land, and it's death to anything that breathes. If only I could. Whoa! Mine's getting up, shaking me off like a dog shedding water. Look out below! Can we get any closer to your lab, Dr. Luther? Not in a car. We'll have to run for it. Come on, hurry! Those things move so fast, eh? No! Fool woman. I told her to. Hey-ah! My hair! It's on fire! Get away from me! Help me. Please. Help. Just a sec.
Oh, it's okay.
These poor soldiers, all my powers and nothing I can do for them. If my lungs weren't so strong, I can go minutes without inhaling. I'd be dying just like they are. I can't stay in this vapor any longer. Got to. Two of them above me. I couldn't see. Ah! Oof! Knocked the wind out of me. Mustn't. Ugh. Incredible. It tossed that brightly clad man into a giant hamper on top of dozens of other bodies. Chief, Mr. Tyler, shouldn't we evacuate or something? That black smoke, safer up from it here. It's so heavy, doesn't raise 50 feet off the ground. Maybe so, but look, those beings are setting fire to everything in their paths. Good Lord, they're sweeping this way. Hey, get out of here, also before doom! Chief! And so the Battle of Metropolis was fought and lost by mankind. For the most part, it was no more a true battle than when the denizens of an anthill look up just in time to see a hobnail boot descending upon them. Yet for all the destruction they wrought, the Martians seem to have aimed less at extermination than at complete demoralization of any human opposition. And all the while, still more cylinders fell upon the upturned face of a prostrate Earth. Time passed. Great Scott. Must be in one of the Martian cylinders, a prisoner of war. Well, not for long. Now, I want to ask this. You do know how they beat the Martians in the original story, right?
Water.
No?
Or they caught the
Oh, you're
cold.
thinking of that. You're thinking of that Shyamalan movie. It was
I'm
a
I'm
cold,
mixing
common
up my
cold.
things. They caught the common cold or something like that. Was that it?
Yep. Well, we'll get to that. Well, I told them they had underestimated your strengths, Kent. So I see it's exhausting that you even to damage your bonds, which are easily repaired. Who? Now I recognize you, Doctor Loser, Professor Ogbley's friend. Not friend, associate. Help me in God's name! Help me! What are you doing to that man? You must be nearsighted without their glasses. They're taking their lunch break. Actually, the Martians don't eat. They're mostly pure brain with no digestive system. They eject their creatures' fresh blood into their veins via a small pipeline. Since landing 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks, they've discovered a distinct partiality to human plasma. Evidently, a painless death once one gives in to the inevitability. How can you be so callous about? Wait, did you say 3 weeks? Yes, it took 2 heat rays striking you simultaneously to fell you, but you've been comatose ever since. A lot has happened during the interim. Washington, New York, Los Angeles, after Metropolis, the other major U.S. cities toppled before the Martian onslaught. Nor was Great Britain far behind. The Martians celebrated that victory by having a royal feast. I can't say I'll miss Nazi Germany, Germany now reduced to rubble from the Brandenburg Gate to the Siegfried Line. Napoleon never quite managed to conquer Russia. On Stalin hasn't been heard from for weeks, but it's presumed he's as dead as Hitler and Roosevelt. The president's dead as the near idea of human nation states under the Martians. The report I was with, Lois Lane, is she? Look out! They've trained that poor wretch, and now they're coming for you, only to write what I've written in their ruin-like script. Though they often make sounds of pain or pleasure, they communicate largely by telepathy. What? You're collaborating with these fiends? You're a traitor to humanity. Humanity is finished, and I'd be a damn fool to go down with it. The Martians recognize my genius, so I work for them. Not that they entirely trust me yet. They've heard the humans they bother to capture in the concentration camps, such as this one, using them first for slave labor and ultimately for food. They move sluggishly in here, but as you see, they've actually got a bit, and they get by quite well in Earth's gravity, riding on their handling machines. Oh, and by the way, about Miss Lane, I requested a Martian to bring her to us. Kent? Lois! I thought you were dead. And Dr. Luther, I saw the Martian take you out of the pens 2 weeks ago, but he's serving them now. No, he wouldn't. He couldn't. One goes, basically explains how he's working with them all and everything. And then when he brings up, like, by the way, Kent, where are you from? Kansas. Don't get cute. Before that, I honestly don't know. Clark Kent is an alien? I believe your professed ignorance. Still, it's intriguing that two off-world entities showed up on Earth at the same time. I've lived here over 20 years, but you could be right. My parents told me they found me in a rocket. Excellent. I'll inform our host. That bit of information will gain me, thus you, a little time. And basically saying how, like, the Martian hospital ward, how they're dying, sick, dying. Many have already died of a bacteria, basically, from the flu and all that. And they're slowly being slain, after all. Man's device that failed by the humblest thing that God has put on this earth. I wish they were all dead, but he's telling the truth. Every Martian I've seen shows evidence of disease except the few in this lab. Of course, why didn't I think of it before? The answer's been under my nose all along. Huh? There's only one way this laboratory is different from the other Martian labs and strongholds all around the world, and that's Kent's presence. What are you saying? Wherever he's come from, he must have brought his own world bacteria with him. Something in his makeup has canceled out our germs' effects on these few Martians that have been pouring over him. If I can find out what it is about Kent that negates our bacteria's deadly consequences, I can save most of our army. I can write my own ticket. Clark Kent, the neozing Superman who walked so briefly among us, may yet be the savior of the Martians. You'd help them survive so they can enslave, even devour your fellow men? You're even more of a monster than they are. Is this the thanks that I get for asking them to spare you? Can't you tell I really find you appealing? I'd rather die than have you touch me. You may get your wish yet, Miss Lane. But for now, the Martians will merely take you back to your pen. So yeah, he soon figures it out, and as soon as he does, no need for them. Don't you see? They don't need you anymore. You're just an animal to them, an animal that serves its purpose. Help me, please. Lois, grab the feeding pipe. Yes. Ooh. On. So what do you think of this still up to this point?
It's really good. I really like how they're sort of playing the two elements off of one another,
It's
where
very
it's
fan
just like,
fictiony, but fan fictiony done right.
yeah, where it's just like, yeah, what if you put these two things together? And it works because they're thematic parallels. Because, yeah, you got alien invaders, and then you've got a hero that's an alien, but a lot of people aren't going to tell the difference between the two,
And not
even
only
if
that,
one is saving them and one of them is attacking them, because they're both way out of their normal range of experience.
and not only that though, but unfortunately, the original victory over them has now been quashed
Mm-hmm.
thanks to Superman and Luther. But yeah, he puts up a good fight and everything. I'll show it mercy. The same mercy they were going to show me. I must have been temporarily mad to try and help them. Try nothing. You did help them. Unless you can stop those others in time. So yeah, they're heading their way out there, and Superman's putting up a good fight. And Ken, watch out for the other one. I saved you a waltz, pal. The last waltz. Now, I like that this Superman, he is willing to kill because he has no choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, he frees them all out. Like, we're free. Come on, let's get out of here. But why are some of them just standing there? There's always a few who happen to be tender and cared for, even if it means they'll eventually wind up on a menu. What? So yeah, that's another thing. They'd be consigned to their fate.
Oh, man.
He's right, Lois. Come on. There may still be a handful of Martians left. What's wrong? Why are you recalling for me? I'm not. Yes, yes, you were, and I think I know why. It's because of Lucy's theory that we're from another planet too, isn't it? Isn't it? I know I shouldn't feel that way. After all, you just saved our lives, but I can't help it. After seeing what those things have done to humanity, I just can't bear the thought of an alien creature touching me. Not even you. Maybe in time when all this is over and forgotten, I'll feel differently. But right now, please understand, Clark. Please say you understand. Oh, yes, Lois. I understand. A heat ray! Here comes some more! We're dead! Oh, look! That famous cover!
Oh, yes! Yes!
And look!
Yes!
One down, two to go. Uh-oh, black smoke rocket. He catches it, throws it right back. Hey, you Martians have proved you can dish it out, but I'm beginning to think you can't take it. Just one more. But unfortunately, once he takes it, they've learned how to fly. And unfortunately, they start blasting at Clark. Forget that. They're murdering those poor people. And Clark, don't count me out yet, Lois. I still got some fight left in me. Lois, did you see it? All I see is Clark Kent, maybe falling to his death. No, I mean, when he passed between it and the ground, the Martian ship floundered, tumbled in midair, as if it were about to plummet. But now, as he's passed over and passed by, it regains its hovering power. What can that possibly matter when that thing is zeroing in for the kill? Wait, Lex, why is he trying to lift that fallen Martian tripod? He's just exposing himself to the heat ray, and he can't probably take much more of it. If he's going to throw in the machine and at the flyer, not at it, Lois, under it. You're right. The tripod didn't hit it, but the flyer is falling. Like all of a sudden, it's completely lost its power. It's boom. My God, Kent's still standing. What's holding the man up? You wanted this world, you murdering fiends. Well, you've got it, and it'll be your grave. Wait, what am I doing? I can't. Clark! How did he bring down the fire? He must have deduced the same time I did. That was it was interfered with by anything passing between it and the ground. There was something as big as their own machines. It canceled their own negate. When it was something as big as their own machine, it canceled the negation of gravity. Though I don't know why he suddenly stopped smashing the flyers. I recognize the war fever taking hold of me. He's alive, thank God. I had to fight the Martians, but I believe we're both aliens here. In spite of everything, I felt sorry for them. I myself came from space. For all I know, my world is dying. Like theirs, it may already be dead. If the Martians had come, the people on Earth might have been running from me. Don't talk crazy, man. He's right. We're afraid of him, even while he was saving us. And what humans fear, they hate. I've been such a fool. We all have. But we'll make it up to you, Clark. I swear to you, Will. Clark, he's dead, Lois. He's dead. The rest of the story is known to every school child. Acting on Clark's insight, Dr. Luther's technical genius finally found a way to duplicate the disruption of the Martians' anti-gravity. The few machines still functioning soon came toppling down like hollow corn stalks. Statisticians estimate that as many as 40 million people were killed by the Martian before their annihilation. Surely, even with the memory of the Great War of 1940 and 1914 to 18, it is inconceivable that mankind could have brought that much destruction upon itself without the invasion from the Red Planet. The rebuilding began at once and continues as a peace. The devastated Germany, Japan, Italy, and Soviet Union have reorganized under vaguely democratic lines. However, with its royal line extinguished, the mass of Great Britain have turned to the native-born fascist Sir Oswald Mosley for leadership. Lex Luthor, now world-renowned and married to the former Lois Lane, have been sworn in as Vice President of the United States. But John Cactus Jack Garner, Garner, the Texan who became president upon Roosevelt's death, soon showed a tendency to rule with an iron hand during the rebuilding. How it will all end, no one can truly say. But there is somehow a sense of inevitability about it all. Mankind has learned during this past year that we cannot regard this planet as being fenced in a secure and abiding place for the human race. We can never anticipate the unseen evil or the unseen good that may come upon us suddenly from the stars. In recognition of that fact, the towering stone image of Clark Kent that stands before the new League of Nations complex in Metropolis gazed skyward, and all contemplated are aware of the immensity of space beyond, as they read the words graven upon its base. He was born on one world, grew into manhood on another, and saved his adopted planet from the wrath of a third during the War of the Worlds. How was that?
That was really good. I liked that one a lot too.
What did you like best about it?
That is a really good question once again, because there's so much to like. I think I liked the fact. I think I liked the fact that Superman chose to fake his death and live on as Clark Kent.
What do you mean fake his death? Wait.
No,
he did die.
Oh, sorry. I thought it said insights from Clark Kent later, and I thought meant. Okay, so never mind.
Inspiration from him.
Oh, never mind. I'm apparently a little bit tired, but yeah, I really liked how, once again, they used the death of Superman in a really effective manner.
Lex changed sides. He's now good now. He's a pure good.
Yeah, and so it's just like, he's dead, but it's just like he's still the symbol of hope, even though he's dead. So in some way, you can't kill Superman as long as he's inspiring hope.
But the fact that you had Superman think if the Martian hadn't arrived, he thought people might fear him, when we know the opposite would have happened. But the idea that these horrendous aliens attacked the same time he appeared, of course people would fear him.
It's like,
and yet they respected him to a degree.
Yeah.
But this just, again, like I said, this is fan fiction done right.
This is fan fiction done right. This is the gist of, hey, these two premises are really interesting. Let's mash them together and explore the results.
Exactly. And the fact that, again, they went pure golden age.
Yeah.
No flight, just leaping. No heat vision, just strength.
Yeah.
And he never once gains any of it. It's just the old powers. They're like, boing, and all that. That's it. That's all he did. And this is very one. Lois was good, but after the invasion started, she's just running around. You know what I mean? But she was there because you needed to have that moment of someone who still knew the good of Superman, but just could not help herself and fear him. Which worked.
It really did.
And what did you think about the artwork here?
Really good. It felt like I was reading more of a classic comic.
It really did. So what would you give this one? Same as the last one?
Yeah, I'd say I'd also give it a 9.5 out of 10. These are both really good pieces.
They really are. Well, Thank you for joining me on this one, Ingrid, and thanks everyone else here, and we'll see you all in the next one. Take care.